Man, okay, Receiver is another one of those games that I can always pick up and play for a bit, no matter what. Released in 2013 as a part of the 7-day FPS challenge or game jam thing, it's an incredibly unique and atmospheric first-person shooter where the player has to perform every action required to ready their firearm. This may sound a bit daunting, and well, to be honest, that's because it is, at least at first. It's one of those things that you'll start to just get the hang of over time. The developers, Wolfire Games, have been around for a while. The main project, Overgrowth, has been in development for what feels like eons. While they work on adding more incredible features to that game, they'll very often participate in game jams and development challenges. And each time they do, I'm surprised by how creative and skilled the team is. Receiver is one of those games, and it's no different. It's found its way to a permanent slot on my hard drive, and it's always one of the first things that I install. I'd love to say that this game is simple, even for just a segue or something, but it's really not. About half the game is actually pretty straightforward. The level is procedurally generated each time you play, you die in one hit, you spawn with a random gun, there are two types of enemies that both have specific weak points that you need to hit to affect them in any way, and you're trying to gather a bunch of tapes. It's the other half of the game that's complex, the gunplay. Like I said before, the player has to perform each action in order to ready their gun. Releasing the magazine, putting bullets in it, putting the mag back in, pulling the slide back, and turning off the safety. Each gun has different actions that can or need to be performed, and you can do these at any time. The idea behind this system is to make the player's relationship with their weapon more intimate and involved, and it does an amazing job. In most shooters, your favorite weapon is your favorite because of a very surface level feel it has. In Receiver, that feel goes exponentially deeper because of these mechanics. I mean, for me, if I'm not using the revolver or Beretta, then I'm having a bad time. I can guarantee you that if I spawn with a Glock, I'm just gonna die until I get something else. Oh, and if you're worried about learning each guns, then fret not. There's actually a context-sensitive list overlay thing of all the possible actions you can perform, and the next thing that you need to do in order to be ready to fire your weapon is always highlight, meaning when you're starting out, you'll have quick access to the commands right in front of you. Now, the game itself only comes with 3 guns out of the box. It was built in 7 days, so that's totally fair. I'm not knocking it for that. I just want to mention that a member of the Wolfire Games forums by the name of Josh707 made an incredible mod for Receiver that adds 5 completely unique guns to the game. Not only that, but it adds a shooting range to practice on, and it makes a number of bug fixes and balance changes. This mod seriously improves the game, and if you pick up Receiver, I highly recommend you snag the mod as well. There's a link to it in the description. Enemy variety is, as I said, limited to 2 baddies, a flying drone with a taser and rotating turrets. A single hit from either is gonna make you dead, and you have to target specific points on the enemies to disable them. Different points will affect different things. As an example, if you hit the camera on a turret, then it can still rotate and shoot, but it won't see you. If you hit the motor, then it can see you and shoot, but not rotate. The trick is honestly to try and hit the battery if you can, but be careful not to waste bullets as they can be hard to come by. The drone has its own weak points as well, and it's pretty terrifying when it chases you down, but they work pretty much the same as the turret. And this might come as a surprise, but there's actually some pretty interesting world building in Receiver considering the short time that it was made in. The tapes that you're collecting are actually more than just cassettes. They contain instructions and information about the world that you found yourself in, and the big shadowy figures what caused this mess to happen in the first place. I don't want to spoil any of it because piecing things together is a nice bit of fun, but I'm always pleasantly surprised by the effort that went into writing and world creation. To top it all off, the atmosphere of the whole game is another point of interest. It's really, really well done. There's a very 80s inspired neo-noir vibe to the whole thing thanks to the colors, simple visuals, the dark, harsh lighting. Add in some synthesized undertones for a soundtrack that fills in sizable stretches of dead air punctuated by footsteps and broken apart by brief, intense moments of panic and gunfire, and you've got something that's, well, pretty awesome. Receiver may not be a game for everyone, and it has one hell of a learning curve, but if you can get past that and really give yourself to the game and understand the mechanics, then I think you'll find something challenging, fun, satisfying, and long-lasting. The best part It's only $5. You can get it on Steam or the Humble Store. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, I recommend you check this one out. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Indie Bytes. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please remember to leave a like and subscribe for more stuff like this. Be sure to check out the other content that we put out on this channel, and remember to drop me a line here on Twitter or through email with any game recommendations that you've got. You can find all that stuff down in the description below. I'll see you next time. Bye!